Laura K. Zimmerman, PhD, is a developmental psychologist, college professor, scientist, and children's author who loves to wander through nature with junior explorer Tibby. She's published articles in academic journals and children's magazines. She's done work for Sesame Street and work in STEAM learning. She writes nonfiction picture books about wonders of the natural world. Our topic today is her wildly successful book, Mushroom Rain. And if anybody's curious and tempted to ask, if maybe she'll explain what it means and how it might be connected in some way with Ukraine. For you kids, some thoughts in her words. I have always loved reading and telling stories. I have not always been good at writing them. I was in high school before it occurred to me that I could improve my writing by studying what I read. And slowly, with a lot of practice and revisions, I did, and I still do. I'm often asked why I write. I write because I don't know how not to, on topics that won't let go. If you glimpse the glimmer of an idea that shines, grab onto it and follow where it leads. It might not go where you expect, but it always will take you somewhere new. I share what I learn with words. Maybe you don't. Maybe you like drawing, painting, building. Find your own path of expression. All begin in the same place. Look for the overlooked inside and out and always ask questions. The world is filled with bizarre, mysterious things. And don't forget to read. There are wonders in books too. Honored Kiwanis, honored guests, and great young people and their teachers. Her mother and I proudly welcome daughter Krista.
Another shot of Tibby. Thank you, Dad. I'm excited to be here. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. Yeah, I usually have a pretty good, can you hear me?
No.
Yes, no?
No.
Do I need a mic?
Yes.
Me not loud enough, that's hard to believe.
It's a big group.
We'll see if I can juggle two things in my hands here. Okay, good? Now I can really scream at you, this is awesome. Okay, so how many think mushrooms are really cool? Yeah, we got a few? I know a few of you are questioning, that's okay, we're gonna work on you today, see if we can convert you. You don't have to like eating them to think they're incredibly cool. In fact, you should be very careful and never eat anything that you find in the wild because you will not know. Always make sure you talk to an expert. This is my book, Mushroom Rain. I did write all the words. A wonderful illustrator named Jamie Green did the illustrations, which are quite amazing. Without warning, they appear. Mushrooms. Delicate umbrellas open, red octopus arms rise for the ground, cup nests with eggs appear. In darkness, a spooky green glows under a starlit sky. Bizarre blooms with strange scents, some like bubblegum, coconut, maple syrup, others the stench of burnt hair, rotten cabbage, or animals long dead. Okay, so just to give you an idea, if any of you want to know what some of the smells are, up here we have the dead animal. This is a stinkhorn, one of many stinkhorns. The nice little octopus arms you saw before, also a stinkhorn. Beatrix Potter, anybody know Beatrix Potter wrote Peter Rabbit? Anybody heard of Peter Rabbit? Yeah, we got some. She also loved mushrooms. She actually was a researcher of mushrooms and studied them for many years and painted them. She said a stinkhorn smells exactly like a dead sheep. So not good. You don't want to smell this. Okay, so we have rotten cabbage up there in the corner. We have burnt hair. You can see hair down. Oops. I can't find the button. Okay, theoretically I can show you. Oh, look. Yeah, going the wrong way. Out of control. I don't know where I am. There we go. Obviously, technology is not my friend all the time. So we also, you see coconut over there on the side. The bubble gum here is actually very interesting. Jamie chose this from the web. This is a mushroom that the person who found it said, this smells like bubble gum, what is it? Nobody answered. I have no idea. Jamie has no idea. There are over 1 million fungi that have not been identified in the world is currently estimated. Many of those are mushroom producing. This would appear as one of them that we have not yet identified. We can tell the family, but not what exactly it is. We do know it smells like bubblegum, and there are others that smell like bubblegum as well. The only one missing here is maple syrup. Apparently it is not currently in bloom or fruiting, as we say, at this time. So it did not make the picture. Many are tattered and torn by hungry visitors, chomping, scraping, gnawing, and burrowing. Take a look at a couple of those. This is a picture of a lovely slug I took near home. You can see his little mouth there. He's scraping at the mushroom to get it off. Nice eastern gray squirrel. Speedy eaters. These are some pleasing fungus beetle larvae, and this is the adult. Some of the creatures that do burrow are beetle larvae. And these are actually a little bit older. You can see they're coming out and eating outside the mushroom. These are some nice burrowing ones, probably a forked fungus beetle, we're not sure. But you can see they were actually digging through those tunnels. And of course our eastern box turtle, who likes to seriously chomp. I chose the word chomp for a reason. We're actually going to talk about these little guys here in a minute. Obviously a big blow up, they're not actually this big. Be a little scared. They're very small mushroom consulting. So some mushrooms are harvested and stored. Red squirrels dry them in branches. Ants pile foraged pieces in their nest, while mushroom hunters, baskets in hand, stalk silent prey. So you see up here, again, seriously, no to technology. Okay. Yeah, I can't name one thing. So you see up here is a little red squirrel, looks a lot like the eastern gray that you saw chomping. They both do handle mushrooms in the same way. They always do dry them first because if you stored them wet, they would spoil. So it's always important to dry your mushrooms before storing, and squirrels do know that. Those nice little ants here are the ones you just saw pictures of. These are unique ants. They are the only ant we know of in the world that lives almost or actually exclusively on mushrooms. We don't know of another right now. Anybody want to know how they do it? Yeah? So what they do is they take, you saw that one with the little baby mushroom in his mouth? Well, he was taking that back to his nest. He is going to leave it in a pile in that nest until it turns really gross and mushy. Okay, it's like nasty, mushy stuff. That's what they eat. They sustain themselves on mushy mushrooms. I don't think it tastes good, but they seem to like it. Then, without warning, mushrooms disappear, no longer seen, but not gone. For beneath the mushroom's bloom, a hidden form reaches out, sheltered and secretly wandering. The largest has sprawled under a forest for thousands of years. It stretches for miles, still wandering. It continues to grow. This particular fungus is actually an organ. It's believed to be the largest living organism in the world today. It is quite old. It also does stretch 4 miles, as it says there. It is unfortunately a true monster because it also kills trees in its path. So it's not necessarily the friendliest of mushroom-producing fungi. Limbs class new mushrooms even farther when scattered spores, like a flower seed, settle on the forest floor. Tiny threads too small to see branch out, growing bigger. They pack together and dry. But not all spores land in the forest. Some, caught by the wind, soar to the sky, seeding clouds. They help create rain. Droplets fall, strange blooms spring up after a mushroom rain. So the book was named Mushroom Rain. It's actually a translation of a Russian term that means a rain with sunshine that is believed to help mushrooms grow. Mushrooms are very, very popular in Russia, the Ukraine, and actually all other areas. They love them. They are wonderful, and so that was part of the inspiration for this book in finding that term. So I'm going to pause here and ask, does anyone have any questions? Yeah. You have a question?
Is this like your most recent book?
This is my first book. So this is the first book I've had published. It came out last year. Yeah.
When are you gonna make more?
You know what? I read a lot of books. But there's writing and there's getting published. Those are two different things. We can talk about the publication process later if you want. It's brutal out there. But yes, I've written a lot of books. My agent has them out right now, and we're hoping to find an editor and publishing house that loves them. Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, question? Okay. Why is the dog there? That is my dog, Tivy. Tivy does all exploring with me. When we go out and we look for mushrooms, Tivy is always with me. You can see she's studying that one closely.
Why does that one have the mushroom
Why does it have what?
The mushroom one.
The mushroom here? Oops, sorry.
He's looking at the skin.
Oh, the stem here? What do you see on the stem? You see that hole? Is that what you're looking at? Right there? Yeah, that little guy? No? You see this little guy here?
I was talking about that one before.
This one over here?
Huh?
Well, clearly that one was eaten by something before we got there. Tivy does not eat mushrooms. So that was eaten by some other creature before we got there. That ant, we're not sure that ants don't usually eat that. That could have been a slug, could have been a snail, could have been a lot of things making that hole. Yeah. Oh, and I can't even give you a number, but a lot of them. That's why you have to be so careful. I'll tell you, when Timmy and I first went looking for mushrooms, because they're pretty, they're pictures. I'll show you some of the pictures my nieces and I took in a minute. Beautiful white mushroom, loved it. It was great. I tried to get a picture of Tivy. One of my nieces was helping. We tried to get her close, going, yeah, right, fashion shot with Tivy with this beautiful white mushroom. Tivy wanted nothing to do with it. As soon as Tivy took one sniff, she took the little thing I'd thrown at it, drug me the other direction as fast as she could go. Turns out that was one of the most deadly mushrooms in the world. Destroying angel, beautiful white and very deadly. Could have taken us both out. Death caps are the other #1 poisonous mushroom. But there are others that can certainly make you very sick, which is why you never ever want to eat or touch or smell a mushroom if you don't have somebody there who can tell you what it is. Because they can be pretty, they can be ugly, we don't know. Even experts can have a hard time sometimes identifying mushrooms. So you definitely always want somebody who knows what's there, or do what I do and buy at farmer's market and grocery. Always safe there. So they are pretty to look at. I take a lot of pictures, but I am not someone skilled in identification. Yeah. I did actually, Ashlyn Harmon, that's my niece, take that picture for us. Yeah.
What's your dog's name?
Tivy. T-I-V-Y. Other questions? Yeah.
Why do mushrooms grow?
Why do they grow? Well, so we have the fungi, right? You saw the little white, it's actually mycelium under the ground moving. Well, mycelium grows and it's the fungus. But to have more fungus of that kind, these particular mushrooms these particular fungus put up mushrooms. And the mushrooms are where the spores come from. So the spores can go in different ways, but some of them do, from some mushrooms do go up to the sky. They go down to the ground to make more mushrooms, but some do also help create rain. Yeah?
Why is there a hole in there? And
Why is there a hole there?
Yeah, in the mushroom.
Yeah, that little one right there? Something ate it. We're not sure. That was done before we got there. A slug can do that, a snail can do that. So we're not sure that happened before we got there. What's a slug? Did you see that little weird thing eating the mushroom right at the beginning of the clip, right, the yellow mushroom? That's a slug. They're kind of like a snail without a shell.
Is this not that close?
It's slugs aren't scary. They're kind of inky and gross and slimy, but they're not scary.
I said it's scary.
Ah, okay. That works. Huh? Oh, that's okay. I have that problem all the time. It's there and it just goes away. Let me know when it floats back into your head. They usually do. Yeah.
What is the most common mushroom in Florida?
You know what? I'm going to leave that to you to research. I don't actually know what the most common mushroom is in Florida. I've seen several. The bird's nest on the first page, I saw one of those last summer when I was here. So there are a lot of different mushrooms. So yeah, I'm going to leave you to search that one for me. You let me know.
Why do you eat some mushrooms?
Why do I eat some mushrooms? Because they taste good. As long as I know they're okay and not poisonous. Some mushrooms, I know, not everybody believes me on that. It's okay, it's an acquired taste, but some do taste good. I don't like all of the edible ones, but some do taste good. Yeah.
Are you an expert at them?
I am horrible at identification. I've read a lot about them. I've talked to a lot of mycologists who are the scientists who study mushrooms. So I know quite a bit about them, but I am certainly not a be-all, end-all knowing of all mushrooms, and I have horrible identification. You never want to ask me, obviously I thought the hardly poisonous kills all mushroom was pretty. And to be fair, it is pretty. You just don't want to go near it. Yeah.
Why are mushrooms sometimes poisonous?
That's just the way they grow. Some things are poisonous, some things aren't. True of plants, animals, and mushrooms. Hey, do you guys know that mushrooms are more closely related to you than they are to plants? Yeah, they are. They're actually, fungus are actually more closely related. There, okay, excellent. Oh, you know, awesome. What's the answer?
The ringless honey mushroom.
Oh, the ringless honey mushroom. You know, the honey mushroom is, in fact, the type of mushroom that actually took over Oregon. That giant one is a type of honey mushroom. Maybe that, thank you. See, now I know something. Next time somebody asks, I'm prepared. Hey, when you can trust Google, it's all good. Yeah.
What is the deadliest thing in the world?
The deadliest snake?
No.
Or mushroom?
Thing.
Oh, the deadliest thing. Yeah, that
No, that lives in the water.
Oh, that lives in the water? I mean, I would say water. Actually, it's probably an eel or something. Yeah, I don't know. That's another good thing to research. Do you know?
Megalodon?
Huh?
Megalodon?
Megalodon? Well, I don't think they're with us anymore.
Megalodon got eaten by something. A water snake?
But yeah, that's it. I mean, you got to get after those teachers to get you to research. You guys have good questions. Yeah.
How do the mushrooms have poison stuff in it?
It's just like plants can have poisonous stuff in them, right? Like poison ivy, right? It just grows, it creates it on its own. I will tell you some animals do pick up the poison from what they eat. That eastern box turtle eats a lot of poisonous stuff, and you do not want to eat a box turtle. And you don't anyway because they're adorable, so please don't think about it anyway. But they're also poison because they do get it in their diet. Yeah.
Has your dog ate a mushroom?
She does not like mushrooms, will not eat them. It's probably for the best. She's smarter than I am. Yeah.
How do you know if they're poisonous or not?
You have an expert with you who can answer that question for you. Sometimes they can do it by sight, sometimes they can't. Sometimes they have to actually do spore prints or knock out the little spores and see. They can actually, some of them are quite hard to identify. Yeah.
Do you research the mushrooms on your own, or do you take someone with you to research?
Now, actually, for the book, I did a lot of research online. I talked to some wonderful experts who helped me out. In the wild, I just don't eat them. I take pictures. I just love how they look. It's the most interesting to me. But in terms of this, yeah, I did a lot of research, read a lot of books, a lot of articles, and talked to some amazing experts. I think I have 6 listed on my acknowledgement page, but they were certainly not the only ones who helped me. Some amazing, wonderful, helpful people. Yeah.
Why were dinosaurs real?
Yeah, okay, that's going way on I'm going to leave that for your teachers. Dinosaurs, hey, that's for you guys. I'm going to leave the dinosaurs alone. Yeah. You know what? I'm not sure if snakes eat mushrooms. I think they largely eat live things. I don't know that snakes eat a lot of plants or fungi. I won't promise you that, but as far as I know, they do not. I could be wrong. I'm often wrong a lot. Yes?
Were mushrooms real when we were not born? Yeah.
When they will win?
When we were born.
Oh yeah, mushrooms have been a long time. Mushrooms have been around since before plants. So they've been around way, way before humans. Long time. Any other questions? Oh, by the way, and I'll show you a couple other pictures here, but some of the things you guys will be taking home with you is we have some mushrooms that we're in. The teacher's going to help take this back with you so we don't have to try to balance it all, but you're going to have some wooden mushrooms. Those can be colored with markers or painted. I'm sure you guys will do an amazing, awesome job with those. We also have some stickers there that I'm sending home, as well as a coloring sheet for all of you so that you can color and take a little bit more. At that nice code there, it says Teacher's Guide and More. I do have a teacher's guide up on that thing that is totally free to use, as well as many activities because I am obsessed with crafts. And so there are many crafts up there as well that go along with the book. Yeah?
Do mushrooms grow on plants?
Yes.
Mushrooms can grow pretty much anywhere. But yes, trees is one of the main places we do see a lot of mushrooms. True. Yeah?
You know who that girl is?
No, yeah, I do know. I know exactly who that girl is. She was at a book signing of mine, and so she was doing a craft with me. So this is a display of her wonderful work. Yeah, I saw her probably a couple months ago. She came to one of my signings. Very nice. So just to give you an idea, mushrooms can be very, very different. So these are some very large mushrooms. I have never found a mushroom this large, but they can get quite large. And I know those are big, right? I've seen some a little bit bigger, but these kids found some pretty big ones when they were looking. Some can be very, very small. These are some teeny weeny ones that I found near home. Do you see Tiv's foot here? See, there we go. See Tiv's foot here? This is her beard here. These are very little mushrooms, okay? They're teeny weeny. That's her, yeah, that's her beard up there. She's sniffing something over here.
What was your dog trying to look for?
Why is my dog?
What was your dog looking for?
She's sniffing something else. I don't know what I don't remember what she was getting into. Apparently something exciting, but she helped me find those mushrooms. She often does by not meaning
Tiny
to.
ones?
Yep, you see these? These are the really teeny weeny little mushrooms. They're quite small. If you look really close, you can see that one has a raindrop on it, because it had just rained.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, you see the raindrops? Few little raindrops right on the stems there, because they're gonna let rain. Yeah, you see them? Yeah. Just look in here. My students do that too.
Is there a wooden mushroom here?
You can if you like. Yeah, there's some in the bag. Dad's very excited about the wooden mushrooms. I may be giving him one later to color. Okay. Adults love them. I'm telling you, sometimes have to keep them away from adults. I do have some extra ones for some of you here if you would like some. I do have a few, and I actually have extra coloring sheets as well. Yes, this is our wooden mushroom. Like I said, markers, paint, all work great on these. Seeing a lot of fabulous art done with those. Question, yes? My guess would be yes. There's a lot we still haven't discovered, and my guess is we're going to find in the tropical areas. I would say, okay, and again, I'm totally hypothesizing here, but it may change their areas. Different ones do enjoy different climates, and so as climate changes in different areas, they're likely to change just like everything else. But exact ones, that I don't know. An exact species. But yeah, there are mushrooms literally everywhere. But certainly they're happier in some environments than others. Yeah.
What's the biggest mushroom?
You know what? And I would ask what that kind is, but I'm going to leave that to Google too. I should know that answer, and I've seen them, but I do not know offhand what they are. Now, so you guys have all sorts of awesome research to do. I am a researcher, by the way. During my day job, I'm a professor at Shenandoah University, so I research children's books, but I also do research in my job as well. I love research, and I love learning new things, and I love you guys to have some questions to do some research on. It's always wonderful. Yeah?
This is a very real question, but do mushrooms die?
Oh, yes. Now, okay, so the mushroom you see dies. After it does its spores, it has various ways of dying.
Does it have ashes?
Actually, no, the little ink caps, they actually kind of roll into nothing. That's why they're used for ink. But the part of the mushroom that most often lives is that part underground that we don't usually see. That's the part of the fungus that's going to live, put up mushrooms another day. Yeah. Okay?
How many mushrooms are there in the world?
A lot. So yeah, we haven't discovered all of them. Like I said, scientists estimate right now there may be more than 1 million fungi that haven't yet been discovered, and some of those will be mushroom producing. So basically there's way more out there than we have currently identified. Yeah.
The little mushrooms grow?
Yes.
Now they'll always be little because they're small mushrooms, but the rain is what helps them grow to this size. Because some mushrooms are very, very teeny.
I didn't realize you have mushroom earrings.
I do have all mushroom earrings. You like my mushroom earrings? Yeah.
What are the smallest kinds of mushrooms?
there were so many small ones. Again, you guys are gonna have to do some serious research and get back to me on some of these. These are such good questions. There are a lot of teeny ones. That bird's nest you saw that I said I saw here, I mean teeny. You can barely spot them. You have to get really close to see them.
Yeah. What kind of mushroom do you see the most?
It depends where you live, and it depends the time of year. So they're always changing time of year and various things. So I show you some of the ones I've seen here.
I see many of them.
So these are some of the ones my nieces and I took pictures of up in South Carolina. So as actually a few of those are from Virginia. So you see a lot of these, but it really varies by area where you're going to see them and when you're going to see them in year. I haven't seen, one year I saw all of these, this year I've seen very few around, so it really changes.
Are mushrooms bigger than flowers?
They can be. Some are smaller than flowers, some get very, very big. So it just depends on the mushroom and the flower you're comparing it to. Yeah. I have no idea. This is why I would not eat them. I can tell you that a few of them are probably edible, but don't ask me which ones, because, I may be wrong. Yeah.
Can mushrooms grow on houses? You know how houses have those, can mushrooms grow?
Mushrooms can pretty much grow everywhere. And certainly the ones that grow on tree, like wood that's fallen apart, so certainly if you have a house with wood there, you can certainly get some on there. So yeah. Yeah, no, usually you don't see them because people usually try to keep those off their house. But yeah, you just have to be in an area where the right kind of mushroom got in the right place. This boar would just have to hit the exact right place that made it happy for that, happened to make that happen.
Have you saw blue mushroom?
You know what, and I have one up here. Yeah, I have not seen that one. Yeah, there's two on here I haven't seen. These are two I really want to see. This one is not from the States. This one actually is supposed to glow, but you have to really see it in the dark and underneath. It's not very bright. But I went to see that, and there are blue ones near where I live. And actually that little girl you saw holding up the mushroom, she tells me she had seen a blue mushroom. I'm so jealous it was in her yard. So they are around. I have not seen a blue one yet. That's on my list of things I want to see. And replace that out with my picture. And I'm claiming to you, yeah, there's two of these I didn't take pictures of. Yeah, that's one of them. See the little citation I have here? So McCaskey did this one, and this is one from Wikipedia. They're, of course, all copyrighted and appropriate to use. Never use pictures that don't have the appropriate attribution for them. See, I do have two of those on there. Yeah.
Why mushrooms from where are those dots on?
Why do they grow dots on them? Some are just have dots, some are rotted, some have been eaten. Whole bunch of reasons you can see dots on those. Let me get over here. Kind of been neglecting this side of the room. What do you have?
If you, haven't seen all the mushrooms?
Oh, all the mushrooms? Oh no, there's many, many around the world, many places I haven't been. Now I have seen all of these except those two. These are all ones that my nieces and I took pictures of. The blue one and the glow in the dark, I still want to see those, but sadly I've not seen those. The rest of these pictures were taken either by me or by one of my nieces.
How do who's the one who loves hunting mushrooms?
Who loves mushrooms? I'm pretty much a fan of mushrooms. I'm gonna go out there.
Do you plant them?
Oh, plant them? Generally mushrooms just grow where they want to grow. Some people do raise them, usually they raise them indoors. But yeah, so I don't plant them, I just see where they pop up, where they can surprise me. If they do, not there one day, they're the next. So some people do buy plugs and do grow them, but I do not.
I used to have a lot of mushrooms in my backyard, and my dog would just like step on them when she went outside and go.
Yeah, my dog does that too. You gotta get the picture before her big old paw flashes right on it. Yeah.
What was the very first mushroom that grew?
That I saw, or that grew totally in the history of time. Okay, well, that was a long time ago. Okay, it was before we had plants. Some people do say that there were mushrooms that were taller than a tree, like 20 feet tall. I want to research that a little bit more and see if I trust that claim. But quite a few people say that some of them back in time were quite large and like tree size as I went through. But again, yeah, I want to put a little more research into that one and see if I trust those sources that I picked that up from.
So, if like, so you're saying if, so a tree was as tall as this building, and then, it's possible that another mushroom could be way taller than that tree.
Yeah, we don't know if there would be today, and we haven't seen any today. That was a really long time ago, back in the prehistoric record. As far as we know, none are that big today. Yeah. The first mushroom that I saw, that's a tricky one. You know, because I'll tell you, when I started looking for mushrooms, I saw a lot more. I actually just walked by them for most of my life, and it was when I started looking that I found some of these teeny weeny ones. And some of these, we actually, at my sister and nieces, when we went to look, there were so many. There were like 50, so it's hard to say which one of those I saw first. In stores, obviously, the white button mushroom, cremini. So if you're talking about a store, those would be the most popular ones. Portobello, by the way, learned recently, all the same mushrooms, just in different life stages. Yeah. I'll tell you, they grow everywhere. They just will pop up, you never know when. After a rain is good, but it also has to be the right temperature, has to be the right place, and there has to be some mycelium, some of that little white thin stuff that you saw underneath for it to grow. Oh, could go grass. Saw one in grass the other day, actually. As a matter of fact, it was right there in my yard, actually in the parents' yard, because I'm in Florida here. But yeah, they can pop up in the grass, definitely. Quite a few of them. Do you have a question? You too, young. I have that problem all the time. Okay, you process it and let me know if it flows back in. Yeah.
Why do some of these mushrooms look like flowers?
As they do. How's that for an answer? Why do flowers look like flowers? This goes beyond the genetics that I know, but yeah, right? I love them. They're in all different shapes, and this is just a fraction of the different kinds you can see. There's one I don't think I have up there that looks just like a daisy. It looks like a little orange daisy that I saw in Florida the last time I was here.
It's on the
Would I put on one of the others?
bottom corner.
No, this one even looked more like a daisy than the one up there. I mean, it really looked like a little daisy with like a little round thing in the center. It was just all orange. Don't know what it was. Just saw it in my parents' yard, growing in the mulch. Yeah. You know, and that is interesting. One of the pictures, and I don't have it with me, my niece took a picture of what she thought was a fungus, and when I was going through, it was a plant. It's a ghost plant. It actually is very eerie white. It has no grain on it at all. It has no leaves. It just has a little bellflower. Looks like a fungus, but it's a plant, and it's a plant that feeds off fungi. It actually steals it. Okay, and we're out of time. One more quick question. Me. Right here.
Y'all go everywhere and find the mushrooms?
I haven't been everywhere. That would be cool. But I found a lot where I've been in the different places I've been. So I've seen them in Virginia. I've seen them in South Carolina. And I've seen them in Florida. Yeah.
Can jellyfish act like a mushroom? Yeah.
It really depends how you mean act like a mushroom. It's kind of a big question there. We have one more quick question here, really fast. Yeah.
How does mushrooms go? How do they become poisonous?
Almost some mushrooms just grow that way, just like some plants that grow that way, and some animals are born with poisons. I think that's like a whole other idea of why various things have poison to help them adapt to their environment. Things that help them adapt to their environment and survive.
Can some mushrooms be solid white?
Oh yeah, destroying angel, solid white, quite pretty. So yes, they definitely can be all white. So I'm told we are out of time here. If you guys come up with more awesome questions, go to my website and send me contact. My contact form will get right to me. And I would love to see any more questions that you guys have. So send them to me, and we'll see if between all of us we can find those answers if they're out there. Thank you so much.